Hello class, this is an introductory video to help familiarize you with the Capsim business simulation. I'm going to go through the different areas in the getting started section so that you can understand what is available to you and how you can be successful in running the rehearsal rounds. My menu and screen may look a little different because I'm in the professor view, but basically you want to go into the getting started section right over here in the underneath the menu. And in the getting started section, there are actually 9 different areas that you need to go through in order to understand how the simulation works. In the introductory lesson, there's a video here that you should watch. And then after you watch the video, you should take the quiz to test your knowledge. There's also a guidebook here. There's a PDF version of the guidebook, which actually gives you a lot of information on how the simulation works, some of the different strategies and some of the different elements that you need to be aware of as you're running the simulation. And then there's the online guide. The online guide actually has a little bit more information than the guidebook. It's a little bit more detailed and specific. You can actually search it electronically for different terms to help you as you're running the simulation. Now, the industry conditions report. It's important that you understand the conditions of the industry that you're running, and they can be unique for your different industry that you're running. Like this industry condition report is for this industry right here. I shouldn't have done the PDF version. Let me go back. Basically, it shows you the different market segments, the low-tech and the high-tech market. It shows you where the sweet spots are. So here are actually the drift rates, how fast they drift each year or each round. It shows you where the center of the circles are each year at the end of each year. And it also shows you where the sweet spots are. There's a little bit of an offset there. It gives you some ideas on different growth rates. It gives you the buying criteria. It's like, for instance, in the low-tech market segment, the price is the most important for low-tech market customers. It's 41% importance. And then the age, they like a little bit older product, something that's a little bit more reliable, that's been proven and not brand new. And then here's the ideal position at the end of the year. For the high-tech market, here's the ideal positioning at the end of this year. The age, the high-tech market, they want brand new products. Price isn't that important to them. They want something that is small and fast. This gives you some information on the high-tech market customers. That's all in the industry conditions report. I'm going to skip the rehearsal tutorial and we'll come back to that later. But the Foundation Fast Track report is basically information that you need to be able to understand to see how well your company's doing. In the practice rounds, you'll actually have 6 different companies that are competing against each other: Andrews, Baldwin, Chester, Digby, Erie, and Ferris. However, in the rehearsal rounds, there's only 4 companies that are competing against each other. But this Fast Track report is a sample of what you'll be looking at when you get together in your groups or when you run the actual foot race practice and competition rounds. It shows you that as you came out of this monopoly, that all of you had sales of about $40 million and you had profits of about $2.5 million. Your stock price right now is $11.17, and your goal is to try to run a most efficient and profitable company as possible. You're trying to return value to your shareholders. And this information you'll understand later on in the semester. It's a lot right now. But that's okay. The rehearsal rounds are just for you to rehearse and play around with, and you'll get better at it as the semester goes on. The next area is join a company. You don't need to worry about this right now. Your professor will actually assign you a company in the foot race, and then they'll assign you a company when you're divided into groups. The situational analysis. This helps you understand the different aspects of the simulation. You need to make sure that you understand the perceptual. I'm going to go ahead and go over here to the drift. Here's an example of the low-tech and the high-tech and how they drift over time. As you research and develop new products and come out with new products, you need to make sure that you time it so that your product comes out when the market is drifting or about to drift over your product. It does take time to research a product and to actually manufacture a product. So timing is critical when you're coming out with new products for the low-tech or the high-tech market segment. The demand analysis. You need to make sure that you understand how to forecast demand. In the simulation, we tell you how large the markets are going to be in the next round. We basically give you a growth rate. So we tell you how many customers there are going to be. It's just your objective to try and sell as much product to those customers. But you need to be also aware of the competition that's out there. And there's some capacity analysis. You need to make sure you understand the cost of increasing capacity. As you buy more machinery to make more product, there is a cost. And that's all of these areas in the situational analysis are important to go through so that you understand how to run a profitable and efficient company. Then there's also a strategy. There's 6 basic strategies with simulation. You can decide if you want to be kind of like a Dell computer or an HP computer, maybe focus on the low-tech market segment. You have lower margins, but you're trying to produce more product. Or maybe you want to be in the high-tech market segment, kind of like an Apple that only comes out with high-tech products, high-end products, and they charge a little bit more for it. Both companies can do well. Both strategies can do well. In fact, all 6 strategies can do well if executed properly. Modules and plugins. Now to begin the simulation, we start out a little bit slimmed down. The HR module does not turn on until round 2, which is year 2, where you decide how many employees you want to hire, how much you want to spend on recruiting, how much you want to train your employees, or how many employees you want to fire. That's up for you to decide. You also have total quality management module that starts in round 3. This allows you to invest in initiatives that can pay off in the future. Initiatives like Six Sigma or just-in-time inventory management. Those type of initiatives can help you become more efficient and hopefully align with the strategy that you've picked. So that's a little bit of information. Actually, it's quite a bit of information that you need to go through and to understand in order to run the rehearsal tutorials. Now, the rehearsal tutorial starts out with a quiz. Actually, it starts out with these different introductions and videos that you can go through, and it actually helps you understand how to make decisions. So if it was me, I would go through each one of these, like for instance, R&D. I'm not going to click on it right now because I'm going to show you a different way, but you need to go through the R&D, marketing, production equipment, go through each of these areas to understand how the simulation works. Also, there is a quiz that you need to finish in order to process the round. It's also the same thing here, quiz and processing, or quiz here. I'm not going to click on it right now because I've already completed the quiz and it would actually show you the answers. But what I am going to show you is how to make basic decisions. So in the R&D area, move this over a little bit, I start out with one product named Able. I'm actually going to revise the product. I want to get it right in the center here of the low-tech market. So I'm going to make the performance a little bit slower. So I'm going to decrease the performance to about a 6.0. And I'm going to make the size a little bit bigger. So I'm going to increase the size. And I'm going to decrease the MTBF. Now, if you don't know what these are, you can actually click on these little symbols here, and MTBF is the mean time between failure specification. Predicts reliability, indicates the average number of hours your product will operate before it fails. And then I'm going to hit recalculate here, and it'll show me that Able, it's a little bit smaller, Able is going to reposition itself a little bit over here. It'll be about April this year, but I wanted to get over here. The age will be about 1.7, so it's a little newer, but I want to get it out here, and the low-tech market segment will drift over it over time. I'm also going to create a new product called ACE. It takes 1 year, at least a year, to research and develop a new product. And I'm going to put the performance, and so as these market segments drift, I want my product to come out right about over here. I'll just say about a 9.5, and I'm just guessing on this. This is where you should use your situational analysis template to see where these markets are drifting to and when they're going to be there. The size, I'll make it about, I don't know, I'll say a 10.5, MTBF 21,000. Hit recalculate, and then this shows me it's going to come out in October of next year, which is way out here, but that's okay because I know that these circles are going to drift, and hopefully that will be the ideal sweet spot when it comes out. Now I'm going to go to my marketing section. In my marketing section, I'm going to change the price of my Able product to say $35. I'm going to change the promo budget to $1.2 million, sales budget all up to $1.2 million. My sales forecast, I think I'm going to be able to sell about 13 or 1.3 million. I recalculate, and this will show me my contribution margin for my able product. Then I come over to the production and HR area. Now, HR is right over here. There's no inputs here for HR in this round, but next round this will turn on. Production schedule. That's my sales forecast is 1.3 million. Right now I have 87,000 units on hand. So if I make scheduled to make 1.3 million, I'll only be able to make that many. I may increase this just slightly. I may increase my automation. Automation is the how automated your production line is. Basically, if you want more robots running your production line versus people. And then what is critical is that whenever you research and develop a new product, you need to buy capacity to create the product. So if you don't, it takes 1 year from when you order the equipment for it to be installed and ready to go. So you want to make sure you order enough capacity a year in advance. Whenever you R&D a product, you need to order capacity for that product. So I'm going to see, oh, I spent too much money. I either have to reduce my automation. I can't get those numbers of robots. I'm going to reduce my robots. Now I spent $6.6 million of investments in machinery. The most I can spend this round is $6.9 million. So I'm good there. The last step that I usually look at is the finance area. Cash is king in the simulation. You do not want to run out of cash. If you run out of cash, you basically go bankrupt. Now in the simulation, we don't allow you to go bankrupt. You can get a loan from Big Al, but that is not good in running a business. And so it's important to have enough cash. And I can see my cash is dropping by about $3 million from $5 million to $2 million, $5.6 million. So I'm going to issue some long-term debt, $2.4 million of long-term debt. That's actually the most I can issue. And now you can see my cash position for the next year, forecasted for the next year, is going up. I'm going to actually issue some stock, $3 million. Now I'm just kind of randomly putting these numbers in to illustrate how to run the simulation. I would not follow these numbers as a guidebook. This is really just kind of a demo. I'm just showing you how to input numbers. So once all the numbers are input, I come over to my file right here and I want to update official decisions. This is basically going to update all of my decisions with the Capsim server. It's over at the Capsim headquarters. Now my decisions have been updated, and I come over here to process. And I'm going to go ahead and process the round. With the rehearsal rounds, they are self-paced. You can process them whenever you're ready to process, or you can think about it. Now I'm going to go over to my report here. On the front page of my foundation report, it's going to show me how well I did. This shows me, I'll make it a little bit bigger so you can see it. I'm running the Andrews Company. It shows me that I have a return on sales of 9%. My sales was about 49 million. My profits was about 4 million. Now in the rehearsal rounds, you can run up to 4 rounds, and your goal is to get 50 million in sales and 6 million in profits for that round. And I can see that my stock price went up to $17.84. Here's some more information. It shows me that I have cash on hand at about 11 million, so I actually did better than I thought. It gives me information about how the round went. Now, let me shrink this back down. I can either make decisions now for round 2, and in round 2, it's going to show me now that I have 2 products. Actually, this one I can tweak, but ACE, because it hasn't quite come out yet, I can't make any changes to ACE until it comes out. You can see how these circles have gotten a little closer, and hopefully when ACE comes out, the circle sweet spot will be right over it. Or if I don't like these results, I can actually replay the round. If I don't like the way it turned out, I made a mistake or something's not right, I can select restart, and it's going to take me back to the beginning, back to the way everything was. So now when I click on my decisions, it's restarted me back to the way it was, and I can try again. That's what's nice about these rehearsal rounds. It is self-paced. You can go as fast as you'd like, and if you made a mistake and don't like it, you can back up, basically restart or back up a round or 2 to the very beginning, or you can just back up 1 year. But your ultimate goal is to try and get your sales and your profit, sales for the year of about 50 million or higher, and profits for the year about 6 million or higher. Now, that's the bare minimum. Most of my students, or some of my students, if they really put the time into it, they're able to get their profits above 100 million by the time they get to the end of round four. I'm sorry, the sales above 100 million by the time they get to the end of round four, and profits above 20 million by the time they get to the end of round four. But play around with this, have fun with it, see what you can do to get your sales and profits higher. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. It is a rehearsal round, and your professor will review your results with you after the rehearsal rounds have closed.